This is a report on the roads leading into the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains of California in late March 2022. To be more clear, the roads leading west from Scenic Highway 395. This report is aimed at hikers, backpackers, climbers, all-around adventurers, and cyclists who like the challenge of riding on these roads, or just about anyone interested in getting into this majestic backcountry before the roads are completely open and the masses of tourists show up. Much of this is firsthand, having just visited the area, but some secondhand from people I spoke to, locals, rangers, Caltrans workers, and others. Working from south to north, starting in the town of Lone Pine, the first road is Horseshoe Meadows. The gate is closed near the bottom of Horseshoe Meadows Road, but the road appears to be clear as the eye can see. I did not attempt to ride my bike up this road to see just how far it had melted or if there is any rockfall damage, but I did speak to one person who speculated it was clear likely over 9,000 feet all the way to the top. Just north of here is the well-known, very popular road to Whitney Portal. This road has a road closed sign near the bottom, just before the first switchback. However, there is nothing preventing you from driving past this other than the sign. From here, you can drive up the switchbacks past the sections of rockfall before you come to this closed and locked gate. From here, I rode my mountain bike up the road all the way to Whitney Portal and the Mount Whitney trailhead. I was able to set out on foot from here and get a good mile or so up the trail up Mount Whitney before turning back. The snow was pretty easy to navigate, as you see here, and much of the trail was just dry. I did later run into one person who said this was the case until you get up into the basins, where the snow is still a good 2 feet or deeper in most areas, including shady places. Now, this all may beg a question. What happens if you drive past the first road closed sign, park at the upper sign, and an official person shows up? So I asked a couple of people, and the consensus seems to be this. A U.S. Forest Service ranger may ask you to leave, but likely won't do much else. Now, some U.S. Forest Service rangers are actually law enforcement rangers, and you could get ticketed. However, if CHP or a sheriff deputy decides to drive up the road, unless you look like Charlize Theron, you're likely to get ticketed. I believe the ticket is $250 or $350. Now, if you're in a moving vehicle, they're going to ding you even more. It's closer to $600 is my understanding. Wow. So when do they show up? Who knows? Weekends? So moving north of there, Onion Valley Road is next. Now, this is a brute of a climb, and it is not closed at all. Now, there was a sign at the bottom of the road just above Lower Grays Meadows Campground saying so, but you almost kind of had to look for it, and it was just easy to continue driving up. Now, I would like to applaud the U.S. Forest Service workers or supervisor of this district in Inyo National Forest for not blocking the road and actually letting me make my own judgment about how safe it is to venture here. It was pretty obvious when I had to turn around, and I was able to do so without a single problem. Above the sign, this unrelenting road goes up and up and up forever. There were numerous sections of rockfall that could be avoided as long as you drove slowly, until I was finally stopped at this point. Now, I tried continuing on past here on the mountain bike, but only got around the corner and maybe 100 feet of pavement before I ran into more snow, and what looked like just nothing but snow continued beyond that. This part of the road is quite steep, and the valley gets more and more narrow and shaded. North of Onion Valley Road, I checked out Sabrina Basin. Now, this road is gated just above the small village of Aspendell, where you can clearly see plenty of snow. Now, it's pretty exposed to the sun here, so I don't think it'll be that much longer. However, it is a little bit up to get to the Sabrina Lakes area, so I don't know exactly when they're going to have it completely cleared out. I skipped the town of Mammoth Lakes and checked out Tom's Place. Now, this road is in a shady valley and was gated at the very bottom. I could see snow from there and just little bits of pavement and then nothing but snow. And I didn't even try to continue on there. Sorry, no photos of this or video here. Next was Tioga Pass, the eastern portal to Yosemite. This spectacular road was gated way near the bottom at the entrance to Aspen and Moraine campgrounds, which both had snow in them. From here, I set off on the mountain bike. Note to self, do not ever again try to ride this on a mountain bike. It's hard enough in good weather on a road bike. I slogged my way up this road where it was mostly rockfall that had blocked the road, and I came across a snowcat parked around the 8,100 foot level. Now, just past a switchback that you can see here, I ran into solid snow about the 9,100 foot level that was either too deep or too icy to get very far on the mountain bike. I had hoped to continue on foot from here all the way to Ellery Lake, but I could not. I did launch the drone and got some of these shots that you see here that show sections of pavement, but also just how deep the snow is. And on the road where I tried to walk, it was 2 feet or more deep. I was post-holing, and due to it maybe being 40 degrees at best and breezy, I just turned around. Near the bottom of Tioga Pass, I ran into a Caltrans worker who was evaluating the road, or going to. My suspicion, after talking to him, is that in April they will begin clearing it. The rock may be much of a problem as the snow, I don't know, but I'd say unless there's a bad storm, the road should be open in early May. That would be my guess. Now, one comment I want to make here is that it wasn't lost on me that when I was near the top, I was the only person within miles.
It's hard to think that in just 2.5 months from now, this whole road here will just be constant cars and motorhomes trying to get into Yosemite Park. But I am the only person up here within, I don't know how many miles. But it was not easy getting here between the mountain bike on the road and then the snow and then just walking. But I didn't get to the pass. I tried my best, but it was just too deep of snow, just post-holing up there.
It's an astounding thought considering that this is Yosemite, and in just a few short weeks, the road will be a traffic jam of RVs and tourists trying to get into the park. So I felt a bit like John Muir exploring here. Heading north, I checked out Sonora Pass, which, despite the sign saying it's a 26% gradient, maybe a short switchback corner it could be, it isn't really that crazy steep. But it's actually a very nice pass leading through the Sierras. It's unfortunately blocked just past the U.S. Marine Camp by gate, and you can see snow just past there. So no one could get very far there. I didn't even bother with Markleyville or any of the roads in the Tahoe area leading up from Nevada, many of which are plowed in winter. I hope this helps anyone traveling into this area. While this info is for 2022, this likely applies to most years. And remember, when the road says closed, the adventure begins.